Hello and welcome to our daily sketching routine. It is Friday, August 23rd, 2024, and in this video I'll be adding details to this character design as part of the character design process. And I just wanted to share some of my thoughts as I sketch and work on this character. I actually had to redraw him several times for various reasons. One is that it started not looking like my original idea, which I didn't like. I didn't like that it wasn't looking like it. So there was that. And then the other was the basic drawing was off. So for example, the proportions were off and I was trying to shoehorn the drawing and that never works. Also, I don't like it when it starts to get too busy, or like if I'm just not really sure what I'm drawing. I think it makes for kind of a weak design and a weak drawing. But with that said, I did want to keep a lot of the ideas from the previous video as far as like the actual design of the character and everything. I might change a few things. But yeah, mainly I wanted to make sure I did my daily sketch. And speaking of that, I'll go ahead and start a timer. Because I had actually recorded another video where I erased the other drawing and sketched it back in. But then I kept I had to do that a few times and it didn't really make for a good video. But I did want to talk about how sometimes you have to do that. You have to be willing, and that's what I was saying in the previous video, be willing, first work lightly and then be willing to redo the basic drawing if you have to, because it'll make the final drawing a lot better when you go in to add detail, which is what this is. It's a matter of figuring out what areas need detail and then what areas can look simpler, and also how to keep the same feel of your original idea. Also, the other thing is, if it's a new character that you're designing, which this is, I haven't drawn this character before, it's gonna take some trial and error. But once you have once you know what the character looks like, it'll be easier to draw. But definitely, you can't cheat the basic drawing. Now I've erased and kind of overworked this sketch quite a bit, so I'm not gonna put too much detail. I just want to get the big shapes down. And then once I get that, I might just kind of shade it a little bit and then either ink it. That's one way to kind of move on from here, or redraw it, or take it into the computer and paint it up. But what I would probably do is, if I'm figuring out a new character, is I would detail this as much as I can to like get the overall feel of the character, and then I would do some studies off of the off of this. So for example, I might do like a zoomed in version of the head so that I can like really understand like just this area, like what's going on, that kind of thing, until I really understood what the character looked like. So yeah, I'll do another, I'll kind of keep sketching for a little bit and chatter, sketch and talk. But I already feel better about this version. I think this is closer to what I had in mind. But yeah, feel free to ask me if you have specific questions. I feel like this character, for example, I can go over, so that's 5 minutes, I'll do one more. Like these are leather boots, so you can just kind of do like a, can you see that? Like zigzaggy. So again, keep the wrinkles pretty simple. If the drawing is good and like the design is good and the pose and everything, basically like how it reads, like when you look at the whole thing, then you really don't have to put that much detail, or you don't really have to be that accurate with things like wrinkles and stuff, because the design is really what's important. Like what I don't like is if there's detail but like the drawing is bad. I don't like that, because then it, and what I mean by the drawing being bad is that it's kind of hard to explain. I mean, there's obvious things like anatomy or, you know, things like that. But it's also stuff like the design of it. It's not just about how realistic it is. I guess every drawing has like a kind of a logic to it, an inner logic to it, and it's just a matter of does it go with that or not. It's kind of hard to explain. Like with this one, it was just kind of going in the wrong direction, but it wasn't terrible. Like, I'm still keeping most of the original ideas from the previous video, but it's drawn better. one thing I notice about when I look at reference from movies, like still shots or pictures where they show like the costume and stuff, is that a lot of it is hidden. For example, if this is all dark clothes, a lot of it would be hidden in shadow or blended together. So it's really I learned this from Excalibur too, where like the armor, I wondered to myself, what makes the armor design like so good? And it's part of it is like the basic, like how they made it was good. The design of it was good, but it wasn't like realistic. It didn't have to be historically accurate, but it worked for that movie. Like it fit the lighting and the style of the movie. So that's kind of one of those hard to explain kind of things. But yeah, if your basic drawing is good, then really it's just details. But if you start to deviate from a good drawing, then it's better to just redo it. But as this video comes to a close, I want to thank you for supporting the channel. It's really awesome and I appreciate it. And until next time, keep on sketching.